Don't get caught waiting. It's easy to get stuck waiting, like especially when times are tough. We're definitely in an interesting market. The world is different than it's been in a long time, and a lot of challenges are coming up. The thing is, you can still win. Why can you still win? You can still win because your success isn't dependent on the external reality. The market doesn't bother you. It doesn't have to. Your life is created by you. Remember, like, we live in an attraction-based universe, so your internal world creates your external world. Like, how does that work? Really simple. Think about it, right? The actions you take come from your brain, right? So your internal brain creates the external world. Now, just because you may not know how to be successful right now or how to grow or pivot in this current situation doesn't mean you can't. That's where I'm talking about a known goal and an unknown goal. Like, a known goal is something you know how to do. And when you're aiming at a known goal, your experience and all your life experience and everything you've been through is an asset when you're aiming at something you know how to do. When you're in the unknown, doing something you've never done before, that's where your mindset is usually the biggest factor. So what you want to do is really start to focus on controlling that inner game, be aware of those recurring thoughts that are happening, and start to shift your frame, shift your global frame, actually, because your global frame is your global frame of belief. Because right now, as you're trying to take action and maybe your business has stagnated or your income is not growing where it needs to be, regardless of what's happening, like, the action you're taking is not working. So if you're in a situation where the action you're taking is not working, that simply means that it's going to require a different action, right? Now, that's a pretty simple example. It's going to require a different action. Yes, we know it's going to require a different action, but what does that actually mean, right? The action you're taking is not working. But what I've found that happens in most situations is people continue to take the same action or try to optimize that action even more. Oh, this email campaign needs to work. I need to shift that a little bit more. If you're looking for incremental growth, optimization is going to help. But most people that I'm talking to who come to JDC are looking for a game-changing result, a game-changing breakthrough. So let me ask you, are you in the frame of being open to a breakthrough like that? Are you in the frame where a game-changing breakthrough will happen? Or are you in a frame where a game-changing breakthrough can happen? Or are you in a frame where what's a game-changing breakthrough? The thing you want to understand is that you are creating your reality. You are creating your life. It's based on you. We live in an attraction-based reality. Our bodies are pure energy. And we're going through a time right now where we're starting to understand that we can control our frequency. And when we can control our frequency, we can control our reality, because the frequency of you, happy frequency, sad frequency, productive frequency, resourceful frequency, procrastination frequency, those frequencies create the frequencies of your thoughts. If you want to take more bold, more powerful, more groundbreaking action, you need to have more bold, more groundbreaking ideas. And that comes from a radically different frequency. You've got to break out of that mold. And the way to break out of that mold is actually much easier than you think. We do it all the time. When I'm coaching clients, I give them one repeat after me. Boom, they break out of it in that moment, just like that. This repeat after me, it transforms them into that place because it's that version that becomes it. So what you need to understand is that you have control of all of this. And just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean that you can't. And what we're actually doing at JDC, we're doing, I'd call it less coaching, but then what we're really doing is we're teaching people how to operate in this new energy, because the new energy is a different form of it's a different model of success. We used to operate under a model of success. We were all conditioned in this model of success that was, pick a target, work hard, repeat. That was our model. And it works okay, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work at all. But what's happened over the past few years, over the past 5 years, the past 10 years, is that life has radically changed. And because life has radically changed, we're operating at a different level, different awareness, different frequency. So we have access to a new model of success. And that's what I'm talking about. Basically, the new model of success is pick a target, align with the target, and then flow to the target, right? Would you rather have grinding, just pushing against force, or would you rather have flow and naturally inspired action? Because I know you've had you've moments of flow before, right? Where you have flow, knew what to do, things were popping, it was automatic. And did you notice, like, in those times of flow, the action itself was automatic? The action was automatic because you were in alignment. That alignment at your frame level aligns the frequency of you, and that creates your mindset and that creates your thought. So you don't have to go through fixing all your beliefs in your mindset. You simply just need to align your frame at the highest level. And when you start to align your frame at the highest level, you'll start to move faster because you have the ability to shift faster. But in order to do that, you have to wake up. Like, what does that mean, wake up? Like, you've got to get out, you've got to get present because we're so conditioned. Our nervous systems are just wound up like crazy, nonstop, over and over again. Go, 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 go. That's the world we live in today. You have to break free from that. And the way you start to break free from that is stopping. Stopping. How do I stop? Stopping. Oh my God, it's so hard. It's hard because we're conditioned and we're wound up to go and go and go and go and go. But let me ask you this. Are you chasing something? Are you chasing something? And are you struggling to stop chasing something? Because if you're chasing something and you're struggling to stop chasing it, that's because you're in a reaction. Like, you're in a reaction to something. Like, something has happened and you're attempting to take action to resolve it. That's a reaction. The biggest example of reaction I can give you is the example of financial scarcity. Feeling financial scarcity is a reaction to a situation. If you want to start growing your income, pivoting your business, being more productive, having more free time, increasing your relationships, sleeping better, having better focus, being a better parent, husband, wife, it's really about getting into alignment with that version of you that's at the next level. It's about becoming present. It's about stepping into the evolution. Because we are at a time of radical growth, of radical transformation. And it's easy right now to stop and wait. It's easy to sit on the sideline. But what's going to happen when groceries go up again or gas goes up again? Some places gas is $8 a gallon. Is your income growing up that level? If it's not, there's a simple reason why. It's not from not knowing how. The way to start growing your income is to be in alignment with your income growing. And the way you get into alignment with your income growing is you remove the resistance to your income growing. And the resistance to your income growing is your past references in your mindset, your past experience that says my income didn't grow this time. And when I tried to find a job this other time, it didn't work that well. And no matter what I do, I can't make more money. So we have all these reference points from our past. And those reference points are experiences that were true experiences for you, but they're not necessarily true now. Just because something happened 5 years ago doesn't mean it's going to happen now. Just because it happened one way doesn't mean 20 times in a row doesn't mean the next time it's going to happen the same way. It always changes, and it changes based on you. But in order to start living your life in that controlling place, you have to take ownership of your reality. You have to take ownership of your frequency. And you have to dive into your growth, because this is a process of growth. This is a process of transformation. Going through this growth and transformation is how you integrate the contradictions that are preventing the alignment. And when you integrate the contradictions that are preventing the alignment, then the contradictions are gone. And if the contradictions are gone, you're left with nothing but a single clear thought. I know how. I'm going to figure out. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to grow my income. I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to crush it in this next 90 days. Like, even if you don't know how, the first step is aligning yourself with that. And alignment is simply thought without contradiction. That's really what it is. Alignment is thought without contradiction, because your brain and my brain is made up of beliefs. Every time something in life happens to us, we believe something. This happened here. Boom. I got an A on my test in 6th grade. Oh, I studied 3 nights in a row. Okay. So if I study 3 nights in a row, I get A's, right? That's how our brain creates beliefs. So your entire perception of reality is based on these beliefs. Another thing that we don't realize is that human beings believe things 0% or 100%. That's it. There's no such thing as partial belief. We do not believe things partially. Now, you may say, Jason, there's an experience. I have an experience where I have partial belief. And partial belief, like, for example, I believe 80% that I can do this. Now, if you believe 80% that you can hit the target, what that actually means is that you have one belief that says 100% belief that you can do it, and you have a second belief contradicting it that says 20% that you can't. And that's how you end up with an experience of 80% belief. And this simple concept right here is literally the foundation of my entire coaching program. Because what happened in 2014 when I discovered how to change beliefs in 2 minutes, it was simply the matter of realizing that if it's inside me, I can control it. So if I control anything inside me, I have to simply take ownership of it. And that's why I get those repeat after me statements like this one. Try this out loud. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it. I've got this. I know exactly what to do. I am going to crush my target, even though I don't know how, because I'm not going to stop until I do. Can you notice how that makes you feel? When you use a statement like that, it's not an affirmation. It's a statement of the new reality that you're in. What's the difference between an affirmation and a statement of the new reality? You're just talking out loud. It's the frame that's speaking it. Do I look like I think these things are temporary? Do I do affirmations anymore? I literally did affirmations for a while. Those Tony Robbins incantations. Now I am the voice. I'll lead, not follow. I'll create, not destroy. I'm a force for good. I'm a force for God. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up, step up, step up. Those Tony Robbins affirmations, I did those for years. There were some days I was doing them for 40 minutes a day because I was trying to condition my mindset. Because back when I was working for Tony Robbins, he didn't teach me how to change mindset. He told me how to change state. So I was trying to re-architect my mindset from the level of mindset. But once I figured out how to change beliefs, all of that became irrelevant because you can take ownership of it. And what I realized is that the only thing that was making an affirmation not be permanent was my belief that the affirmation was not permanent. So if you change your belief that says that affirmation is not permanent, then it will become permanent. Like your entire perception of reality is based on beliefs, but there's so many conditions we don't know are there. So how do you know they're there? How do you know when you're aligned? Well, number one, you already know. You do know. How do I know? You do. Because you have these things called emotions. Emotions, yes. Emotions is your guidance system. Emotions is your turn signals. It's your system. Positive emotion, aligned. Negative emotion, not aligned. Really, really positive emotion, very, very aligned. Really, really negative emotion, very, very not aligned. You already have that system. You just need to start using it. But the biggest downfall that we all need to break through and stop doing is positive thinking. Positive thinking is the worst way to approach things right now. Positive thinking is the worst way to approach things right now because positive thinking, a lot of those tools came out with the Tony Robbins and neuro-linguistic programming coaching that came out in the 80s, where they were only accessing the action level and the action and mindset. They weren't accessing the frame level yet. And by accessing the mindset level to change mindset, you literally had to condition it from that level with repetition and all these patterns there. We need to stop positive thinking because what positive thinking means is that I'm having an experience with contradicting beliefs. I'm having positive beliefs and I'm having negative beliefs. And what positive thinking does is ignores the negative beliefs, focuses exclusively on the positive beliefs, the positive thoughts, in order to create an artificially aligned mindset. And an artificially aligned mindset is better than a completely misaligned mindset, but it's not the same thing as a pure aligned mindset. What does that mean? So like the version of you that's operating, you have the action mindset frame, the frequency of you, right? What we're trying to do a lot of times is trying to fix the version of you. Like this frame doesn't believe it's possible. So we're trying to correct the beliefs and the mindset to fix this version. That's the old way. In the past 5 to 10 years, we've started operating in a higher frequency of life where we can access what I'm calling framing. I first discovered this process in 2020. But now that we can actually control the frame, there's no reason to actually fix the old frame. because we can very easily shift to the new frame. We're shifting to the new frames all the time. Like it's something humans do all the time. We shift frequencies, happy, sad, thoughts, reaction. And one great example from frame shifting, and I'll tell you actually where I came from frame shifting. I'll tell you the story of it here in a second. But one great example of frame shifting is like you're driving in your car, hear a song from 20 years ago. Oh my God, I remember that song. I was in college. And you're like, ooh, I remember something I did. And that song, I remember something I did that I regret or I don't like. And then I look at that and go into self-judgment and you kind of lower yourself. Basically, that's a reverse frame shift where you're moving into a lower frequency version of you. What I'm talking about doing is moving into a higher frequency version of you, into a new frame that hasn't existed yet that you're pulling from your future version. And that's exactly and that's basically what frame shifting is. And the way that frame shifting came to me was when Jason Drees Coaching started to grow in 2020. In August, Jason Drees Coaching was just me, just Jason. In end of 2019, I started working with Brandon Turner. We did some Instagram lives and I started adding about 5 personal clients a month. By August 2020, I had 65 one-on-one clients I was coaching. And then I got on the Bigger Pockets podcast and all of a sudden the business had 200 introductory coaching sessions the next month. So Jason Drees Coaching went from just me to me, 4 coaches, an ops person and a salesperson in 45 days. This is the same time I did my 6-week Mindset Academy program with Brandon Turner in the November, December of 2020. So I was doing 4 hours of content a week while doing all of that. And it was the most amazing time I've ever been in business. It was exploding. It was going great. It was going fantastic. The money was rolling in. It was awesome. But I was in complete and total overwhelm. I was so overwhelmed and so overworked. Like I literally had friends reaching out to me on Instagram saying, hey, Jason, are you okay? Your eyes don't look, your bags under your eyes are bigger than normal. Because I was just so overworked with so much, but it was awesome. It was amazing. And what actually happened is that business 10x'd. We went from a $100,000 run rate to $1 million run rate in 1 quarter. And it was amazing and awesome. And every day I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. How do we keep it going? And then I was thinking, all right, what do I need to do today? And I literally was so confused. And then I had this thought. And this is how content comes to me. As you can tell, I'm a conduit for this content, but this is how it comes to me. I had this thought. I'm like, okay, well, it's November 10th, 2020, and I am so overwhelmed with work that I can maybe get 10% of the things done I think need to be done. But I realized August 1st, I had everything dialed in. So November 10th, completely overwhelmed. August 1st, everything was dialed in. And then I realized if I had taken myself, a version of Jason from 10 years ago, brought 10 years ago Jason to August, he would have been completely overwhelmed. That tells me that this November 10th Jason that's completely overwhelmed could be solved by a future version of me that hasn't existed yet. So I sat there for a minute and I just kind of got a sense. I didn't visualize, I just sensed it, sensed that future version of me. And when I sensed the future version of me, I felt lighter. I felt more confident. I felt less doubt. And all of a sudden I knew exactly what to do. And I took the action. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then a little bit later, that afternoon, I got into overwhelm again. I was like, well, let's do that again. I got a sense of the version of me in the future and it shifted that. So I basically frame shifted 3 to 5 times a day for the next month and a half to keep myself out of complete and total blowing up from this amazing, awesome growth. And that was the foundation of JDC. That's where we really exploded. And from that technology, from that content. So are you starting to understand that you don't really have a limit into what you can create or do? Are you starting to understand that the only limit is really you? And that's why you want to work with us, because we're the only people doing this. We're the only people coaching at the level above mindset, the frame level. So I would encourage you to learn what alignment is. You can read my book. You can listen to other podcast episodes. Follow me on YouTube. Hiring a coach, you can also learn it. But once you start to learn alignment, it's going to start to teach you that formula for that new model of success, to getting into alignment, that new mode of operation, so we don't have to continue grinding over and over again. You're capable of more than this. You should have more than this. You know it. You feel it in your result. You feel it in your bones. I know I was there, but something's just not clicking. That clicking, that missing piece, the missing piece is alignment, and it's closer than you think. I hope you found this valuable. I appreciate your attention, and I appreciate you following my content. I hope it's making a positive impact. I'd love to hear what you think of this. So contact me and let me know. Post on social media, comment on the podcast, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.